Hey guys, it's MeAdmiralStarks back with another Enlisted video, and there's a sale on the Gaijin.net store. We can take a little look-see here. It is the fall sale, and it's a little bit bittersweet because it's only for the Gaijin.net store, which means we only get the things with a discount that you buy straight up with cash. Like if you pay gold for it, they're not discounted. If you pay cash, if you pay cash, then they are discounted. As you can see here, cash. Everything else is not discounted, which kind of sucks a little bit because there's a lot of cool things in Enlisted that you can get for the gold. But you know, maybe Christmas sales are probably not too far as well. And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. Now, today we're going to be rolling through some of the American tanks, American/British, whatever you want to call them, that you can get on this sale, which includes the M8A1 GMC, which I now can proudly say I have actually played. The Achilles is at BR4. The little guy was at BR2. Calliope at BR4. And last but not least, the Sherman Firefly, which I have played also extensively on the channel. Now, today was the first time for me to play the M8A1 GMC, and I'm gonna try to put some footage on the background to see how it does. We did survive some of the 47mm AT shots from the Japanese AT cannons. A lot of machine guns, heavy machine guns, nests, grenades next to you, molotovs on you. Everything's gonna kill this thing because we really have zero armor at all. Now, the good things about this is you have the 50 cal on the top, which I couldn't figure out how to use. When you go to the commander seat, you actually need to lean up, and then you can actually use the 50 cal. It is nice. The downside of this sort of design for the tank is every single time you're going to poke out here, or even go to the commander seat, like the first commander that's going to be in here is just going to die by default. He's going to be sniped, and that's it. Now, every next time you go in here, pretty much guaranteed they're gonna die, and you're gonna slowly lose the crew, you're gonna slowly lose the reload speed, and until the end you go kaboom. Now, talking about the reload speed, this thing has a very good solid reload speed, but be very mindful and careful because you're not carrying too much ammo in the battlefield. So you're gonna run through, for example, HE splashing for the enemy infantry, you're gonna run through those HE shells very quickly. It has the same pros and cons as the Tech 3 M8. It's fast, chassis is nice, light and nimble, and it has the same soft suspension, so it's rocking backwards and forwards very much, so it's tricky to move if you're trying to move or only just to reposition. It is very bouncy, so you preferably want to be stationary when using this. You get the 75mm M3 cannon in battle rating 2, which is really cool, 75mm, although the downside for it, it only comes with an AP shell, not an APC-BC or APHE, whatever. It's only an AP, so it does the job, I guess, at BR2 and probably at BR3 as well. But it is not the most promising shell out there in the Enlisted game. Now, if I need to compare this to any other BR2 tanks currently available in Enlisted, then I have to put it next to Matilda, which definitely has tons more armor, a little bit faster reload, but a smaller gun. I would probably take the... I want to like Matilda, but I think I would take the M8A1 over Matilda just because of the gun and the speed and all that stuff. And the other BR2 premium tank currently in the game is the Chaffee M24. And I think this thing would probably win over the other two. I would probably take... You're relatively protected, still have a 50 cal. Has the 75mm M6 cannon, which I believe means that you now have APC-BC shell. And it's just insane that this thing is BR2. Which is lovely, but insane. So I would take this, then I would look at M8, and then I would look at Matilda. Now, we're going to swiftly move on to the Achilles, which is pretty cool. This thing has the APDS shell, which is a bit trolly for, you know, the armored enemies. It is quite trolly. Sometimes it does absolutely nothing, even when it pens, because it's literally a very solid, was it tungsten core round? It's made for penetration, not so much for the post-pen damage, which can sometimes screw you over. But it is nice to look at a tiger. For example, if there's a tiger too that doesn't see you, you will be able to get through the mantlet, or should I say the cheeks, the turret, front of the turret of the tigers, sometimes as well. And I wanna magnify the word sometimes. Now, looking at the armor, this nothing to brag about. Like, you're gonna die constantly. Being an open top turret as well, every single thing that I've mentioned until now, commander snipes, molotovs, grenades, planes, any machine gun fire, and grenades next to the tank, not even explosive packs, just the grenades, everything's gonna hurt you. So all in all, I want to say open top experience in Enlisted is rather painful, and I could not put my hand on heart and wholeheartedly recommend this thing. Like, I just could not. If you want to have Achilles for the sake of having it, yes, go for it, but I just can't fully recommend it to anyone. The slow turret traverse and all that is just, it's a little bit too much. Even with an APDS shell, I just can't. Nah. Next one, Calliope. We've played Calliope extensively once again. Now, this thing is good and bad at the same time. You get these 114mm M8 rockets, 60 of them, which is really cool for infantry. You're going to splash and destroy tons of infantry. You do lose a 50 cal on the top. You're still an M4A2 Sherman, which hasn't changed anything, you know. You still have your armor, which is, I mean, compared to the other two, this thing has an actual armor, you know, some thickness you can look at, but still for the battle rating, most of the things are absolutely going to go through this. Now, sometimes when enemies are going to hit this, because you know, when you're going over the ridge and this obviously pokes out first, not always. Sometimes this is going to be disabled, but sometimes it's going to explode straight up, ammo racked, and you're gone. So you're basically going over every single ridge, exposing your rockets and, you know, fearing for being shot there and absolutely go kaboom. Now, it's just a Sherman, as you would expect. It's nice, fast, maneuverable chassis, as you would expect. You still have your M3 cannon, which is a bit of a shame, because I think it means you only have an AP shell, which is a bit of a... M6 are gonna have the APCBC now, if I do remember correctly. I actually need to check, because I keep saying this. I keep saying this, but I might be wrong. Let's see. Whatever. QAT USSR. AP shell with APCBC 75mm M3. Okay, so M3 actually gonna have an APCBC. Hey, so this thing makes it a little bit better. But yeah, absolute menace to the infantry, but it's gonna struggle against Panthers, against Tigers. 100% this thing is going to struggle. Panthers are super trolly, so you only want to see Panzer IVs, but sadly there are many Panthers out there, so I can semi-recommend this because of the rockets. Can be fun, and you can still fight some tanks, but you really need to be sneaky. Although these rockets make so much noise, it's going to be super hard to actually be sneaky. Now, moving on to the Sherman Firefly, without really getting into too much detail, I can say that this is probably the one I can actually go out and recommend. We've done a recent video not that long ago. We're fighting Tiger 2s, and this APDS shell from this 17-pounder goes nicely through the front of the turret of a Tiger 2H. You have, again, relative armor here and there. I mean, it isn't really going to save you from Panther guns, long 88s, and things like that. You're still going to die. But this thing does look the coolest, and it has a very reliable gun, and the speed and the turret traverse and all that stuff. It is just very much nice. And now that you can have customization, because the original camo, it is cool. The original camo is cool, but it just screams very much out like, hey, I'm here. So we're going for the kind of the olive European camouflage to more kind of disappear in the well, the scenery, I guess. And this is a good tank. I play this over the Pershing. Like, I am so allergic to Pershing, even though that thing has 90mm, I play this over the Pershing, and I am very much happy with it. The 50 cal, some track armors, you know, RNGs is weird angles. Sometimes it's gonna bounce and you're gonna live, and the things are gonna be cool, and you're gonna be happy. So yeah, this guy, low tier, I can probably like 50-50 recommend this. This guy, I'll be honest, I really can't fully recommend it. Calliope is a cool thing, annoying to infantry, but you need to remember you're just a Sherman, so if you want some rockets, go for it. And a Sherman Firefly is definitely a decent buy if you do consider getting it. Well, that's where I'm going to leave you. I will try to cover some of the infantry squads for Germany and Soviets and Americans. I don't have too much the Japanese stuff, but I'll try to cover them preferably in the next video, maybe tomorrow, day after, so you can see how they actually play out in the field, so you can make your decision whether to buy or not. But for now, that's it. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next one. Goodbye.